About the United States. There is no moral center in Europe. When in the last 2 centuries have the French or the British or the Germans or the Belgians or the Italians moved in a way to unify that continent?
Okay. Actually, kind of true. Actually, kind of true. I never really thought about it that way. The U.S. kind of did come in and say, hey, listen, you fucking losers. We're gonna start working together. Prior to World War II, all you motherfuckers basically did was kill each other all fucking day long for like the past 2 centuries. For as much as people say the world of Islam and the fucking in Africa and everybody were all at war all the fucking time, Europe was basically killing itself constantly for fucking centuries.
Stand up to this kind of genocide. When have they done it?
Well, I guess arguably Germany did try to unify the continent just as one country.
The only reason anything is happening now is because the United
Stephen
States
Big
of
Donnie
America.
here. When are you doing another composition challenge? Your compositions are very pleasing to the ear, believe me. You have chords. You have the best chords.
Thanks, buddy.
Many people say this, Big Donnie out. Bonus me mobamna.
Shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about? Tell me where I'm wrong. Asking in good faith, don't you think people see your blacklist same as we see Vosh and a Sun Fortress type of shit, or no free clout policy? I don't know if that's a gay ops question, or if you're legitimately fucking retarded. It's so weird that I get people will accuse me of being unwilling to talk to people when I'm not trying to jerk myself off, but I feel like I'm probably, I don't want to say like the most prolific content creator that I have like the biggest fan base, because there are people that dwarf me by orders of magnitude, multiple orders of magnitude. But in terms of like reaching out and talking to people in different communities, for a person of my size, I feel like I'm probably one of the largest people that do that. I don't know anybody that will talk to the different types of people in different communities of varying sizes I do. It's interesting to me that when I say like I don't want to talk to people that are like Zerka, who's going manic, crazy, like random personal attacks on me, blah blah blah, and then when I'm like Fuentes, who shits on me constantly, is annoying to fucking deal with, I don't know how I deal to engage with. Like when people say like, oh, you're in the Forge Star, just like Vosh, who's literally been turtled up in his community, not talking to almost anybody for for years. Like it's just very strange that like, oh yeah, Destiny, you're in your Fortress Star. Like, okay. Destiny talked to 2 conservatives the other. Oh yeah, I just went on that fucking Latina show. The Latina conservatives. Yeah. I feel like at some point, and this is probably, I'll run into this more as I am a little bit more boundary driven. I feel like sometimes people feel entitled to my fan base, where they'll be like, Destiny, you have to talk to this guy. You have to do, and it's like, no, I really don't. I don't have to do anything. I don't care. It's not my responsibility to have to talk to some people. Like, I can also say I don't feel like it. I'm fully within my right to do that. But I mean, I provide my justifications. I'm really worried. I feel like at some point in the future, because we play so many stupid games with a debt ceiling, I'm really worried that one day we're gonna like accidentally default on our debt and nobody's gonna know what happened. It's just gonna be like we went back and forth, somebody fucked up, a bill didn't get passed, whatever, and we're actually gonna end up like, defaulting on our debt, like just on accident, and people aren't even gonna realize that we like fucked up, and then like the world is gonna come crashing down. Can you explain the debt shit to non-North Americaners? Basically, the United States Congress creates a budget for the United States of America every, I don't even know. Is it every year? It's a yearly budget, right? Or is it the president creates the budget and submits it to Congress or whatever, then Congress approves it, blah, 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 some bullshit like that. However, the problem is oftentimes we have a spending deficit. And the spending deficit means that the United States government is trying to spend more money than we collect in tax receipts. And as long as there is a spending deficit, in order to satisfy the difference between collected tax receipts and the budget that the government is trying to spend, we have to go to the U.S. Treasury and we have to borrow money in the form of selling treasury bonds and all this shit. We have to borrow money in order to satisfy the additional spending thing. Now, but the problem is there's an artificial limit to how much money the United States is allowed to borrow, called the national debt. And the problem is that if we hit that debt ceiling, when Congress goes to pass its budget, we're no longer allowed to go to the U.S. Treasury and say, hey, I want to borrow money against ourselves, kind of by selling whatever T-bonds to people. We're not allowed to borrow anymore. So that means that the United States might default on payments that it needs to make on its currently existing debt, and then be unable to satisfy its budget, basically. So then we fight every so many years about like raising the debt ceiling. Yeah. Congress could theoretically remove the limit altogether. It is not a requirement in the Constitution. Kind of, but the reality is the debt ceiling limit will never be reached. The issue is the debt ceiling is fun for both people to play with, because every time we approach the debt ceiling, you can start making demands of other people in Congress in order to get shit that you want. So it's kind of like you could build a train track all the way across the bridge so that the train can move from one cliff to the next without like plummeting into the abyss and dying. But the reality is if you don't finish the train track, every single time you're coming up to like the end of the tracks to fall off into the chasm, you can say, listen, we can lay more track if you want, but you need to do this and this for me. So I think both sides are kind of incentivized to keep the debt game going because they can punt the football back and forth and make demands of the other side for it. Somebody said, what happens if the U.S. defaulted on its debt? The problem is that right now, my understanding is that one of the safest investments in the world are U.S. Treasury bonds. Because with the United States, we can print our own money. So if you're ever looking to put money somewhere worldwide, and you want to invest money, buying U.S. Treasury bonds is like the best thing in the world. We've got the biggest military, we've got the biggest economy. Like, yeah, you buy U.S. Treasury bonds, and the interest and there's names for all this shit, like the printed value and like the payments that you might make every month or year based on the face of the T-bonds. There's different types of treasury bonds, but like you're always going to get it. It's free money. It's more secure than your currency. Whatever country you're in, it's probably better to have treasury bonds in your own country's currency. But the issue is that if the United States were to default on that debt and not make those payments, the entire world is kind of looking around like, holy shit, why did the United States not pay on its owed debt? That's a really scary proposition, and a lot of the world economy probably revolves around the stability of the U.S. dollar. That, for instance, that's why like oil trades and everything are denoted in USD, is because the United States currency is such a good like currency of exchange for different countries around the world. Why not just balance the budget? What is a petrodollar? Well, people that trade oil, I think this might have changed recently, but when you trade oil, you typically trade it marked in USD. The nice thing about USD is it's always a stable currency where you can trade through USD to another person, so everybody denotes their oil exchanges in USD. Like if you've got some weird fuck, let's say that I want to sell you oil, but you've got like what is Ghana's currency? I don't even know what it's called. A Ghanaian cedi. I don't know what this is. I don't want this currency. I don't want to hold it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do whatever. So if I sell somebody in Ghana oil, I'd rather just trade in USD because I love holding US dollars. Every country in the world takes US dollars. The economy is relatively stable. I can spend US dollars in the United States. Like USD is just a nice currency of exchange for everybody to use. So that's why I think the USD is typically used when trading, I think oil or whatever. 60% of the world trades in dollar. Yeah. It's kind of like a world global reserve currency, I guess. Isn't that changing though? I heard that OPEC was trying to trade oil not denoted in or denoted, not marked in USD. I don't know if they made that decision or not. What do you think about getting around Congress by the Treasury minting the $1 trillion coin? Isn't that still technically legally untested? Like I don't know if they actually have the authority to do that. I don't know. I don't like the idea of skirting. I don't like the idea of trying to break down our checks and balances using tricky tricks like that. I personally don't like it, but. Oh, and then also, I'm gonna do this more too. Okay, get ready. Here, let me get some unpopular takes out of the way before I play games. Okay. It's interesting to me that behavior that goes on long enough, like people get entitled to it and they actually start to think that it's the right thing. Okay. 8 years ago, when we shared Netflix passwords, we knew that we were breaking the rules. Everybody did that. It was like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, I got, Netflix passwords from my boyfriend. Oh, my mom gives me her Netflix password. Oh, I got Netflix passwords from a friend at school. We all did that shit but we knew that we were scamming Netflix. We knew we were doing shit that we weren't supposed to, okay? But we kind of like, yeah, you know, we did it. If you get, I don't even think they did catch you, but like, yeah, you did it because you did, whatever, fuck them, right? The fact that people have turned this into indignancy when Netflix is like, hey, listen, no more sharing accounts. If you want Netflix, you gotta pay for it. And be like, oh, I'm canceling. This is the most unfair thing in the world. I can't, like, bro, grow the fuck up. You're stealing a service. What the fuck is wrong with you fucking idiot? Of course they're gonna eventually crack down on this shit. I don't know. I feel like in the thing is, Netflix made a tweet about sharing passwords, making it seem like the company cared. You can say that if you want, and it could be the fact that because a lot of you are Gen Zers, and you might actually be functionally retarded. I don't know as much because I don't have as many Gen Z friends. What am I kidding? Every girl I talked to was Gen Z. But like, at least back in my day, we knew we were doing something wrong. When you're fucking sharing passwords on Netflix, you know you're stealing from the company. But it's like, yeah, fuck it. You know what? Who cares, right? It's a big company. You steal a little bit. You pirate a little bit online. But yeah, the idea that people are so indignant about it, like, I'm entitled to free Netflix between all my friends because we share passwords. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. It's priced in? Yeah, right. Did anyone at or from Netflix ever say that password sharing was even discouraged? Or are you saying this is something everyone assumed because it seemed like you shouldn't? I don't remember back in the day, but like, I'm pretty sure the idea was that if you share passwords and shit like that, I'm pretty sure that you would just assume that you're not supposed to do that. I don't think any other license for any other game or anything ever worked ever like that ever in the history of ever anything ever, right? Usually if you buy a thing, it's like you license to one person, or if you have an account, if you share it, you're probably like not supposed to. That would have been the assumption. But you guys are still entitled to everything. Oh, I was gonna say it happens with video game prices too. The idea that games are still $60 a pop is wild to me. Like, bro, you would pay $60 for a game that you could beat in 8. How much money, how expensive was PS2 on launch? I bet it was like $600, $700 adjusted for inflation. Okay, $500 adjusted for inflation. How much money was PS3 on launch adjusted for inflation? $733 to $900 for the PS3. And now people want, I feel like people want to buy consoles for like what, like 400 or 500 USD? How much was PS5 at launch? $499. Arguably, adjusted for inflation, this console is like the same price as what, a PS2? That's insane. And gamer consumers who probably have more disposable income than the average consumer are so mad over like game prices. $60 a game. People will get mad spending $60 on a game. Hard to disagree. You can't blame Zoomers, you fuck. They have extra device plans to share. You think motherfuckers really watching Netflix on 6 devices all by themselves? Yeah. Isn't the point that you would like get it for your computer, you get it for your TV, you get it for your laptop, and you get it for like your phone? Wasn't that the whole fucking point? Do you think extra devices was for other people or extra users? I'm pretty sure it's the same thing when I did like NordVPN ads and shit. Like you can have like multiple devices activated on one account, but it's not supposed to be for multiple people. It's just supposed to be multiple devices that you own. And 6 devices simultaneously. Okay, maybe the point was that you buy it and you give it to 6 friends. I guess that's. Oh, and then there's the Netflix tweet, the one tweet from 2017. True. Remember when Genesis and SNES games were like $70 to $90 a pop? Yeah, I don't know. Consumers are wild today. In some ways, we're like insanely spoiled. And then in other ways, we're wild. People will... I remember that even the Factorio subreddit was losing their mind because Factorio increased its price to like $35 or something. And it's like, bro, the average Factorio player has an autistic amount of hours, like 1,000 hours in this game. This is a better dollar to hour ratio than fucking LSD, okay? And people were losing their mind over the $5, $15 increase. And I'm like, bro. But then people will fork over like $1,100 every year for a new iPhone. I'm like, the selective outrage is like insane. I don't know. Can you agree that things feel a bit different now than before? Netflix was before the only live streaming service, or one of very few, but now every people are expected to pay for 2 to 5 different streaming services for movies/TV shows. At the moment, streaming services kind of feel like it will fall into what happened with piracy. Yeah, here's what I'm waiting for. This would be the revolutionary thing. I got an idea, okay? Imagine fuck all these random providers. Imagine you could go to your ISP and you could just buy one massive streaming service that would have everything listed. It could have 1,000 different channels. You could scroll up and down through all the content that you want that would show at particular times during the day. You could have a big guide that lists everything. It is really disappointing that we basically reinvented cable, though. Yeah, it feels so stupid. I also don't like how, and this is another thing. This is why I don't like a lot of intellectual property law. I feel like I don't like my TV. I don't like going through the menu. Everything about it just irritates me. Like, I feel like somebody tell me if I'm making this up, or maybe I'm retarded, I don't navigate it. Some streaming platforms will have some shows, but like only certain seasons of the show. Like, I'll have like The Office will be on like Netflix or whatever, but it'll only be like 4 seasons of The Office or some weird shit like that. And I'll be like why? Or here's another one. I'll be searching for a movie on like a platform, and I'll start typing it in, and I'm like, oh, and it'll fill in the rest for me. Like, oh, cool. Typing in James Bond 007. Cool. Okay, click, and it'll autocomplete for me, but it doesn't have the movie. How do you know what to autocomplete and you don't even have it on your fucking platform? You fucking piece of shit. Why does it do that shit? Yeah, bro, I don't know. I feel like I have like 4 streaming services now, and I don't even know what is what. It just is so annoying. Destiny, doesn't people complain about now having multiple streaming platforms justify RagePub's argument about vertical integration? Like, having a service be monopolized was actually better for the consumer than having actual competition? I would argue no. I think that like it just needs to be more clear what's available or what's not available on certain streaming platforms. That's my issue, because even though I'm complaining now about the multiple services, what existed before was dog shit. Like, you could never buy, oh, I just want like cable that has like these 7 channels that I want. You had to buy like packages that had like 900 channels of like random shit that you never fucking gave a fuck about. So if you wanted like ESPN2, you had to pay like $150 a month to get like 75 million different fucking channels. Yeah. My issue with the streaming services, and maybe I'm just not very consumer literate, although if I'm not, I don't know how the average American is. It's hard to just know what you get for different platforms. Like, if I want to watch like certain shows, I don't know who the fuck I'm supposed to subscribe to. Like, I feel like that information is just not easily accessible. But maybe I'm retarded, I don't know. Somebody said, your generation is indignant as fuck on Crackdown about piracy. I don't know if that was an attack on me or an agreement. I'll assume it's an agreement. Mashallah, brother. Yeah. I have so many people, I think there's a Reddit comment I've saved for this. I have so many people, like, here's another thing too. People act like they have like a right to ad block. That's another thing. I understand. Unpopular take. But people are like, oh yeah, you have a right to ad block. Like, no, you don't, motherfucker. You're stealing shit from the internet, which is fine if you want to. Knock yourself out. But don't act like you're doing some moral fucking crusade or service. You're doing it because you don't want to watch fucking ads, okay? Which is fair. Ads suck. And if you want to ad block, that's fine, okay? But it's like stealing bubblegum from the store, okay? You don't sit there and brag about it or act like you're... It's also funny, too, because how so many, oh yeah, like RagePub just did it here. This is so wild to me. So many people says, I have a right to ad block until websites are responsible for delivering me malware via ads. And, okay, to be fair, I'm probably a more sophisticated internet user than many, but I watch a lot of porn. I go to a lot of crazy fucking websites, okay? I don't think I have ever had fucking malware on my PC from a fucking ad. What kind of retards are you guys, where you guys are like downloading all these fucking viruses from ads on websites? Like, where is this happening at? I don't know if I've ever, and you guys have seen me, I browse public, like, I don't think I've ever used ad block in my life. I've never had this huge problem of getting all these viruses. They're clicking the ads? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, guys. Jesus. Can you explain why a person doesn't have the right to use adblock? What's the argument against it exactly? I mean, you can use adblock if you want, but like, you also can't complain that everything is moving towards like subscription models in the future. That's the thing that irritates me, right? I don't mind watching ads, and I'll watch ads, but now I've got like 6 different fucking subscription services to websites because ads aren't enough anymore, because 80% of like tech consumers adblock. So now I've got a subscription to the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal and shit. It's just fucking annoying to have to manage it all. But it's because you retards adblock everything. So yeah, I don't know. If you don't want ads, just fucking pay $4 a month for whatever service you use. Twitch Turbo is what, like $12 a month? Just buy Twitch Turbo. Who the fuck cares? Yeah, I don't know. It's silly to me. You've never had fake download buttons with ads? Yeah, I have. And I've even clicked them sometimes, but just don't run the fucking executable, you fucking retard. Your computer's not gonna get compromised by downloading something. Usually requires you to download it, run the program, and pass the UAE? No. The user authentication control, UAC. Like, you have to do a lot of retarded shit to fuck your computer with an ad. Disconnected millionaire streamers? It's not even that. Actually, wrong! Now I'm gonna come down harder. You're a spoiled fucking loser, okay? I pirated shit when I was growing up, or rather when I was in my mid-teens and post-college or whatever, because I was fucking poor, okay? And I did pirate then. And if you would have asked me, why do you pirate? I would say, because I can't afford shit, okay? And I was a hardcore pirater, okay? I was on the original Oink. You don't even know what that is, you youngin' motherfucking piece of shit, okay? I was on the original Oink. I was on Cheggit, okay? One of the original largest porn trackers on the internet. Okay, I was a hardcore pirater. But once I made enough money to buy shit, no, that's not true. I was gonna say, once I made enough money to buy shit, I started buying shit, but that wasn't true. It wasn't until good streaming services came out. One of the problems with the early internet was that the pirated shit was oftentimes better than any of the non-pirated shit. But I don't know if that's not really the case anymore. Things like Spotify and YouTube are a million times better than they used to be. Everybody that's saying true and all this shit now, like that's true today, that's not true today. Fucking around with torrents and all that shit is way more annoying today than it was 15 years ago compared to like fucking iTunes and shit. That was cancerous as fuck for a variety of reasons. Destiny Bro, are you really saying a lot of ads are not malicious? Have you ever tried to go to any semi-shady website on your phone? Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. You guys have seen my computer. You've made fun of me. I don't think I've ever used AdBlock in my life. No, I've never had a problem downloading ad. I don't have AdBlock on my phone either. I've never had problems navigating websites because of, yeah, I don't know. Destiny not realizing I've had a backdoor on his last two. RTBA is one of those guys that has like Ghostery and No Track and like 52 different add-ons because he thinks the government is fucking tracking him because in 1997 he Googled teen blowjob videos, okay? You didn't pay for the What Is a Girl Doc recently? Get off your high horse, buddy. Yeah, because I don't know how to fucking sign up for the website and everything. But like I generally pay for most of the shit that I consume. I buy all my fucking games on stream. I pay for YouTube Red. I pay for it. That's why you don't have ads, by the way, when I listen to my music on stream, because I pay for YouTube Red. Is it still called YouTube Red? I don't even know. I paid for Twitch Turbo, but I don't have a Twitch account anymore, so I don't do that. I have no problem paying for shit. I've got like a subscription to the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. Do you claim it as a business expense, though? Yeah, you better believe I do. All of a sudden, the super tech-savvy Destiny doesn't know how to sign up for a website to watch a video. Listen, it depends on the sign-up thing, okay? I remember back when I first... I remember back when I wanted to watch, I think I've told this story before, when I wanted to watch Game of Thrones, it was one of the most complicated internet fiascos I've ever seen in my entire life. I think what you had to do is you had to buy, what was the process? I think you had to sign up for HBO Pro, but you weren't allowed to stream it on your computer. So you had to download the HBO app after signing up on the computer, log in on the app, then authorize the app to restream to your computer. It was the most convoluted bullshit in the fucking, and eventually I paid for HBO and then I ended up pirating it anyway because I had no idea how to make it work on my fucking computer. Holy shit. HBO, you mean Max? I don't know if it was called HBO Max 10 years ago when Game of Thrones was coming out. Would you consider AdBlock a form of piracy? Yeah, of course. But people will get triggered if you say that, but...